Hey, good morning YouTube. My name is Kenny. Thank you for checking out the channel. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is working on my 2005, I'm so used to seeing 1992, my 2005 Yamaha Banshee motor. So we got in the 92 completed. It looks absolutely amazing. If you're concerned about that and you want to check out that playlist, it will be linked to the very end of this video. But right now, we're going to be starting the 2005. We have the motor all taken down and taken apart and everything already. So we're going to start to clean up the cases, get them looking brand new. We're going to Cerakote them in this video. We're going to sandblast them, and we're going to just do a couple other things and get the bottom end reassembled in this video and hopefully have the cases looking brand new. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, share this video, hit that notification bell. Helps out the YouTube algorithm and it'll help this channel grow.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing.
Alright, so here we go. We have the cases. Well, the upper half. We already gotten the lower half done, so I'm going to show you the process that we're going to use. We're going to go ahead and take out all the seals, all the things that are plastic, so we don't have to worry about any of those things melting once we get to the part to where we're going to get them in the oven. So right here, this seal. This seal here needs to come out. Seal's out. Seal still looks good. We're going to go ahead and get this breather line here. That's got to come out as well. Wasn't in there too tight anyways, but so that's out. That's going to get cleaned up and reused. Just going to double check and go over everything. This doesn't really have to come out. It's magnetic. No, my screwdriver's magnetic. This doesn't really have to come out or anything. And down here, everything looks good. We'll get as much of this old gasket material. They use the gray stuff. We're not going to use that. We're going to use some good anaerobic gasket sealer. But right here, we have some breakage. Then we're going to clean all that up and make it look a lot better. We're not going to use this hose here, so that's going to go in the garbage. But we'll go ahead and take it off for now. One of the easy ways is to go ahead and just get this O-ring popped out there. There you go. Out. So we're going to get this right here cleaned up. Just make it look a lot neater because we do have a WRK saver and this doesn't have any leaks, so we're good to go on that end. So we're going to go ahead and just cut that across, file it up, see if we can make it look better. So we're going to start with the cutoff wheel. I'm just going to go around here. It's just going to come pretty much straight across. See if we can just get it to look. Okay, so here's all the extra shavings, and I use my Dremel with these little carbide bits right there, and I don't think it looks too bad. Cleaned up. I wanted to keep the arrow because that's the arrow that you line up that arm with of where to put the clutch pull. I don't think I'm going to have any issues with it, but I did. And as I say, these little areas do have some hairline cracks, but I don't really think that that's going to be anything of a problem. Because like I say, that this didn't leak before, but we're going to clean it up and make sure it's going to be okay before we make that final decision. All right, so here's a look at both cases now. I know this really isn't the best lighting, but they both look a lot better than what they did. So if I can get out here. Blasted, cleaned up, looking good. I'm going to just go out on the limb and I'm going to just try to not tape up anything. I know I'm probably supposed to, but the tolerance of the Cerakote is so small and so thin that actually, if you get it into the threads, it's no really big deal. It's not like powder to where you're going to have to re-tap it or anything. So I'm going to put a just light coat of the silver on here. Hopefully it turns out really good, and then we'll be able to look at it real quick. Going to let it rest for a few days, and then we'll get this back rolling. Like I stated, do this at your own risk. This is just the method that I'm going to be using, and later on I am going to be also port matching my upper halves. So, you know, we'll see how this is all going to work out. So we have the one upper half out here, blasted, heated. Did a little bit of sanding to try to get that area pretty smooth, but we're going to go ahead and just hit it with some color real quick and, you know, see how it's going to turn out for us. All right, so here are the two guns that I did use for this project. And no, you don't need two guns. I just used two for the sake of just trying to be as authentic and realistic as possible. The purple gun is one that I got from Harbor Freight. The blue one is one that I got from Amazon. Since I'm going to be linking the items that I use down in the description box, I wanted to go ahead and use an actual part. So for the upper halves, what we're going to be using is the blue gun. I'm going to get it adjusted pretty decently, just little sprays on that wall right there, just so you can see the pattern. Then we're going to shoot a little bit of color on this, and hopefully, you know, it turns out looking good and everything. But let's get it rolling. So as we stated, once again, the C7700 is the Glacier Silver. We have our filter that we're going to put in there with a funnel. Kind of fold it over in half so it fits down in there. And we're just going to put like that much. We don't even really need much. It's shaking up. There we go. So that's all in there. Lid back on. Lift the filter out. Lid on. We'll hook it up to the air hose and start seeing what we can do. So the Harbor Freight, well, the Amazon gun, as you see, pressure regulator is right here. So when you have it all the way in, no pressure really. I want it about right here. We got our trigger function, how far back. If you push it a little bit, nothing but air. Push it back a little further, the material comes out. Here is the fan if you want it to be a straight shot versus wide. So I got mine a little wider, and so I want a little bit more air than that. So about right there is where I want it. So we're gonna go ahead and start shooting. See how wide we are. So we're about that wide. So you all might not see a big color change or anything, but I'm just gonna try to spray it on this angle here so you all can see it, but I'm just gonna put a nice little coat on it. And there's a little corner on this side to where the sprocket goes, and I want that to be able to come really clean when I get oil and stuff in there. So I've already blasted it and everything as well. So just gonna make sure I get a little coat in there. And that's it, it's dry time now. All right, so as I stated, I'm not a professional. I do follow the instructions of what is stated though. So I did cook it in the oven for about 30 minutes, do a gas out on all my parts. get the oil that's in there baked out. I did strain it with the 100 mesh strainer. I did spray it. I didn't go all crazy with the measurements and the PSI. It's got to be around 30. But as you saw with that gun, it worked fine when you just have a decent feel for it. I didn't go crazy with taping anything off just because you don't really have to with Cerakote like powder coat. Powder coat you really should. I mean, but you don't want to get things like Cerakote down in your cylinders, but getting them on the bolts and things like that, it's not really that much of a big deal. So one of the things I did do is I did put it in my oven. I did get the air cure, so just so you understand, you don't have to put it in the oven, but I wanted to be able to manage it in a couple hours. Typically it's 24 hours. They'll air dry quickly, but they kind of partially cure within 24 hours. But after that 24 hours, it doesn't fully cure for 5 days. So what I wanted to do is put it in the oven so that I can quickly cut my grass all around my property. And then when I'm done, we're gonna be dry and I can just take this thing out and then we can see about port matching our cases. All right, so we went with the 6770 Glacier Silver, which gives it the brightest aluminum color that Cerakote has to offer. So we sandblasted everything, got it all taken apart. Looks good. Let's cure for a few days and we'll start putting it together. So here we go. I mean, it looks great in there doing what it is. I mean, the Cerakoting is a ceramic coating that's going to make it crazy water resistant, crazy chemical resistant. So basically when it gets dirty, you should be able to pretty much just hose this off and it's going to stay looking new forever. Well, it's going to stay looking new for a long time. I do know that you can actually just get these things vapor blasted, and apparently that gives a little bit better water resistance. But you know, that's always good when you have the carburetor sitting right up top, and if you get fuel leaking out of them and things like that, these are going to just stay looking new and it's going to really be good. Powder coating doesn't really have that chemical resistance, but it is very thick. But the next thing we're going to do is get the gasket on there, mark this gasket off just to make sure we can port match these so the bottoms match the cylinders that we bought. We're going to do that in this video, and we're going to go over the cylinders in the top end later on. Right here we have the new gasket from Fast. I'm going to get that just set on there. Dowels will definitely hold it in place, and as you see, the tolerance for the thing is crazy. And wow, we got a lot that we're going to end up taking off. But basically, we're not trying to rebuild this. What we're going to do is just slope them so that there's no lip. So we're just going to trace this all over with a Sharpie. So there we go. See, we got a good bit of sloping that we're going to do to just make this look a lot better and have that flow a lot better. All right, so we have it marked up to where I can see it pretty good. I am just going to use a basic Dremel with some carbide tips, and we're just going to go round those out. Then one of the things I do want to state is that we're just going to get to where the ports are. So kind of like if this was a head, like a face, the ears is what we're going to be rounding out. We're not going to make the head itself like where the chin and the forehead will be any bigger, if that kind of explains. So we're just going to round out the corners, but I'm going to go ahead and get that done. So here is the first attempt. So got it ground out pretty good with the Dremel, but yeah, we're right there. We're pretty much no lip there. Just a smidge difference here, which I'm not going to stress about. But the same there. I could take off a little bit more to get the line off, which I might do on that side, but overall I think we're looking really good and open these up a lot. So now we're going to sneak up here at 2.0. Port match looks really good. I mean, like I said, barely any there, but overall looks absolutely amazing. So this is where I'm going to leave it at, right here. I'm not going to show those cylinders. But overall, right now, this is what the cases look like. blasted, Cerakoted, going to be resistant to chemicals, going to be super clean. I did focus a lot on trying to get this area super smooth, so I used some sandpaper, as well as I focused a good bit with the blasting media to make sure that I cleaned this up really good. On the bottom side, as you see the casting imperfections, I really didn't stress as much as that because it's on the bottom, obviously. So we went ahead and got that done. We will be putting the bottom end in another video. So now what we've completed was cleaning the cases up real good, getting them Cerakoted, getting the upper half port matched to the cylinders that we're going to be using. We'll be discussing the cylinders in a future video, as well as doing a little bit of stuff to those, maybe a cleanup port on them, and we're going to also Cerakote those, and I'm going to explain the color combo that I'm going to be deciding to go with. We also decided that we were going to clean up that little corner, as you saw what I did, and that looks absolutely amazing. Got a little bit of something hanging off of me there. All right, everyone, so that's going to be conclude this video. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so that you'll be notified the next time that I upload a video. For this 2005, it's going to be a little bit hard time trying to go from saying 1992, but on this 2005 Yamaha Banshee. So we're going to be getting the motor rebuilt, getting the motor built up, getting some things changed, doing something a little bit different. But keep an eye open, turn the notifications on, and you'll be notified when I upload another video. If you are interested in how we got from there and what the machine looked like, here you go.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take